Keir Starmer, he's a bit like Marmite, isn't he? Labour obviously love him, but the rest of us would, I'm guessing, probably prefer to go out with someone with an STD rather than him be our Prime Minister. But it appears, unfortunately for poor old Keir, or perhaps I'll now call him Mr. Can't Understand National Topics, but that is a bit long, isn't it? I'll shorten it to Mr. Actually, no, I better not call him that. But anyway, Mr. C is in a bit of kind of bother, shall we say, because he has got some fan mail. And for him, unfortunately, it isn't just any fan mail. It's a letter signed by 80 of his MPs. And if this is anything to go by, it seems he might have a bit of a rebellion of his hands in his own party. But just what is going on then? Well, it says Keir Starmer is facing growing Labour rebellion over welfare cuts as 80 MPs sign the letter, and that letter is no doubtedly a letter of no confidence, I'm guessing anyway, but let's just delve into this a little bit deeper. It says that more than 80 of the Labour backbenchers have signed this private letter setting out concerns about the scale and pace of the planned cuts to disability benefits, and it includes apparently fears that MPs will not be shown the full impact of the overhaul until after the Crunch Commons vote next month. Now this just strikes, if anything, of a bit of a forced vote, because how can MPs vote on something if they don't know the impacts of it? It just doesn't make any sense, does it? So by him delaying the potential impact until after the vote would, I'm guessing, mean that had people known that impact, they probably wouldn't have voted the way that Labour want them to. But of course, admittedly, I could be wrong. Labour, it seems, don't really have these things called, brain cells. But anyway, the letter is apparently due to be sent to Labour's chief whip early next week, so let's hope Keir does one of these lovely belly dance and U-turns that he is very famous for, it seems anyway. The changes proposed by the government in a green paper in March are aimed at getting more people into work. Eligibility criteria will be tightened for the personal and dependence payment, more commonly known as PIP, the main disability benefit in England, while the sickness-related element of universal credit is also set to be slashed. And that comes apparently after 42 Labour MPs signed a separate public statement warning that the changes are impossible to support. So let's face it, he's got 80 in one hand, 40 in the other, so it's 120 odd. Therefore, it seems that Keir Starmer really does have a bit of a problem on his hands, let alone the mountain of support currently going behind Nigel Farage. Keir Starmer could, at this rate, be voted out as Prime Minister before any of these cuts come into place, or with any luck anyway. And, don't get me wrong, I understand that there are one or two people fiddling in the system, but as far as I'm aware, that is not the majority, and therefore to punish the majority for the actions of the minority does appear to be a bit disingenuous in my opinion. And yes, of course, I do know that they are trying to blame this on this £22 billion black hole, but at the end of the day, if they were that concerned about it, surely they would stop, Ed Miliband sending £11 billion of our tax money overseas to help with another country's climate emergency, when let's face it, the big emergency that the public probably care about more is our cost of living crisis. Because thinking about it, and yes, admittedly I could be wrong, but I'm guessing the only people that are better off now than what they were 12 months ago is probably illegal immigrants or illegal boat people or whatever you want to call them. Because it appears, doesn't it, that Keir Starmer just likes to make cuts here, there and everywhere rather than doing what he should be doing, in my opinion. But anyway, these MPs said that the proposals represent the biggest attack on the welfare state since George Osborne ushered in the years of austerity. Well, it appears, if indeed Keir Starmer doesn't get kicked out, will be at the 2029 general election, which hopefully by then Nigel Farage would have amassed enough support, therefore meaning that he will be our next Prime Minister. And with the way these polls seem to be going, hopefully it won't be too long before Nigel Farage becoming the Prime Minister will be a reality rather than what some would say is a fantasy.